that we are live on Facebook as well as on YouTube. So if you guys are watching me from Facebook or YouTube, let me know so I know you guys are hearing me okay, seeing me okay. This is September, and we all know what it means in the Feng Shui world at the end of the year. It's busy, busy, go, go, go. I'm just going to give everyone a couple of minutes to get on. Feel free to say hi. Tell me where you're coming from, where you're watching me from. Awesome. Okay, perfect. You're seeing me on Facebook. Okay, anyone seeing me on YouTube? Just want to make sure that I'm live streaming. You know why? Because I don't want to forget my YouTube peeps. When I go live on Facebook and I share the replay on YouTube, the people on YouTube we would have loved to join you live, but we're not on Facebook when you went live. So just give me a minute. Let me double check. I'm not sure if I am, but that's okay. I guess I'll have to figure it out. Okay, looks like I am. All right, welcome everyone. So today is another Q&A day. I didn't get too many Feng Shui questions this time around. I probably have about just 2 or 3 lined up. So if you're watching me live and you have a Feng Shui related question, either external Feng Shui or inner Feng Shui, just put it down in the comments and I'll take it from there. Okay. Just give you guys a little bit of an update. Sorry, I'm just going to pop a lozenge in my mouth here because I don't want to keep coughing today. Just giving you guys an update that my Feng Shui 2020 annual webinar, the registration page has been live for almost a week now. I do have 300 early bird pricing spots, you guys. 300 early bird price, and at last count, I think we have about 80 early bird pricing left. So early bird gives you, means that you can register at $68. After the first 300 spots are taken, it goes up to $88. Okay, so if you guys have already registered, let me know who's already registered. Put it down in the comments. If you haven't registered, then head over to Feng Shui 2020. Let me pop that up here. Feng Shui 2020. Grab your early bird pricing. If you're watching the replay and you go on the website and you're seeing 88, that means you no longer have the early bird pricing, but register anyway because we have really amazing stuff lined up, right? More than just getting you guys Feng Shui ready for the year of the rat, the year 2020. But we're also going to go through basic date selections because you get my Feng Shui and astrology calendar with that. You get to do your Feng Shui specifically on your home's period and facing. And I can tell you, as far as I know, no one else has gone to the in-depth information that I provide in my annual training. And stay tuned. I have a bonus surprise announcement at the end of this live stream in terms of an additional brand new training that I'm planning for Feng Shui 2020 registrants. So make sure you stay on for that. Now, let's go into some questions. Again, I only have 2 or 3 prepared for today, but if you guys have questions, feel free to shoot it to me. Very first one is from Raquel. So Raquel was a little bit longer, but I shortened it up. Okay, Raquel girl? Okay, her question basically is, when is a good moment to renovate my basement? Now, the thing is, if you're renovating basement, if you're replacing your roof, or if you're doing work throughout the house, construction work, okay, then you're hitting all the directions. So there really isn't 1 month where none of the directions are afflicted. When you talk about the annual energy, you want to make sure that you know where your Grand Duke direction is, you know where your 3 killing direction is, and you know where your year breaker direction is. Now, those of you who know, put in the comment what is Grand Duke this year, what direction is 3 killing this year, and what direction is year breaker this year. I can tell you guys, but I don't want to spoon feed right now. So give me the answers and let me see who knows that. I'm not seeing the comments proper here for some reason. Okay. So in 2019, right, Grand Duke is in Northwest 3. 3 killing is the whole of West. Okay. And then year breaker is Southeast 3. So the thing is, if you're doing a whole floor, you're going to hit these directions anyway. At the very least, you start at a month where these directions aren't doubly afflicted. So you either look at the flying star. You don't want these 3 directions to additionally have a number 5 or a number 7, even the number 2, if you want to add that in terms of flying star. But specifically number 5 and number 7, you don't want it to be visiting those 3 specific directions for the month. Okay, because those are double whammies. You can start with the other directions for now, and then when the month passes, then you can work on those 3 afflicted directions. However, keep in mind, before you start the renovation, you put for my clients, I usually like to have them put either more metal or put salt cures, permanent salt cures, so that whatever negative energy that gets activated during the renovation, then at least you have the permanent salt cures there to absorb the negative energy. Okay? If you're doing whole floors, you're gonna activate negativity. You can't run away from that. But after the fact, after the renovation, then there are Feng Shui remedies that you can use to fix your renovation negative activation. Okay? Some schools call it the Great Sun formula. So it basically means, I'm not going to go through the calculation here because it's pretty, it's not brain surgery, but it's a little complicated. Okay? The Great Sun formula, basically, we take a look at the sitting of your home, not the facing. We take a look at the sitting of your home, and then we basically review the calendar. There's a set of calculations for that. And then if for every month there are specific home sittings that can do the Great Sun remedy. You guys can Google this, although I don't think it's an information that's readily available. Those of you guys who are in Manifesting Code, my monthly membership program, I actually do the calculation every month for them. So if they have done renovation, or even without renovation, it doesn't hurt to do the Great Sun formula, in my opinion. So every month I will tell my Manifesting Code guys, okay, so these are the sitting for this month that can do the Great Sun formula. These are the directions where you put the remedy for 1 or 2 weeks. I would say about 2 weeks to put the remedy, and then you're good. So yes, start the renovation project with a date selection. And if you do the annual training, we do have like basic information on at least calling out the bad months to start your renos. Okay. And then after the fact, you do the Great Sun formula to remedy whatever negativity would have gotten, awoken because of the renovation. Okay. And then I got this one as well. What happens to a space when it's empty? Is there still feng shui? So that's the thing. In the Western world, in the developing country, in the mainstream media, they always categorize or they always explain feng shui as the art of placement. And for me, that's a very incomplete explanation or description of what feng shui is. Feng shui is taking other elements into consideration, like time, like direction, like structure. And once we have the time, direction, and the structure, we have a calculation to determine the energy. So whether or not there's furniture in that space, there's still energy, right? I liken feng shui with gravity a lot. Whether or not someone is standing on a piece of land, gravity is still working, right? So whether or not there's furniture or whether or not that building has people living in it, there's still feng shui. There's still auspicious corners or areas. There's still negative areas, okay? So the mainstream description of art of placement is really very simplistic, not complete at all. Okay, so I hope that helps. Let me see. Okay, so Shannon, I can't, hold on, let me see if I can bring up the windows, comments and reactions. Okay. So Shannon is asking, on the subject of apartment facing, would an apartment building being 10 to 12 feet away from bay window affect the direction of the facing? So Shannon, I think you registered for Feng Shui 2020. If you are, feel free to just do a cut and paste of your Google Earth, blur out your address if you're worried on our private Facebook group, and we can take a look at that. But the facing is, the apartment building is 10 to 12 feet away from your bay window. But isn't your window in the apartment? Sorry, I think I'm a little bit confused with this question. But how you determine facing for a building is actually very similar to how you determine the house facing, right? You look at the street. What is technically, generally, you look at the most yang element. For me, the biggest piece of information is where is your street address. So whether you have a bay window or how far you are from that, you look at the street address. You look at where is there energy coming through your apartment building through that street, or is the energy coming through into the building through another pathway, another avenue, right? So those are the things that we need to look at. So if if you're unsure, again, it's very case by case actually in terms of determining facing. So if you're in Feng Shui 2020, you can post it in our group, Facebook group, or in the forum, in the portal. If you're not, then you might want to register. That way I can take a look at your map, and then I'll let you know what the facing is. Okay. Great question, though. I'm just looking at other questions here. Any questions on Facebook? Okay, awesome. Okay, I'm finally seeing the Facebook comments. Sorry for you. Okay, so Natalia has a really good question. Okay, so Natalia is saying, looking for a new place to rent. We live closer to Florida coastline. How water affect your living situation? Water, I mean large section of water like sea. So if you are nearby the sea or a big lake or river, like a huge river that encompasses a few directions in based on the compass, that can be really tricky. In Feng Shui, there's this I want to say formula called the direct and indirect wealth spirit, the direct and indirect spirit directions. I'm not going to go into the details on that, but suffice it to say, in period 8 and period 9, you're not supposed to see water, so that includes the sea or the river or the lake. You're not supposed to see, or the pool actually, it could be the pool, could be fountain as well, any body of water. You're not supposed to have water in the northeast, northwest, the west, and the south. Okay. So if you are renting, or you're looking for a place to rent, or you're looking for a place to buy, you need to figure out where these bodies of water are, which direction they are hitting. So you have your maybe Google Earth, right? And then you superimpose the compass on that, and then figure out what direction it is. It is most, it affects you most living in that space if you can see it. Okay? In Feng Shui, visual is very important. If you can see the water, then it definitely will affect. If it is there on the map, but you can't really see it from where you are, even if, let's say, you're in a 2-story house and you still can't see it, then it doesn't affect you as much. If you're in an apartment building and it's, you're higher up, you can definitely see the sea or the lake. That can be an issue. You can, for the directions that have water, that are not supposed to have water, again, remember, northeast, northwest, west, and south. If you see water in those directions, then you can cover it up with plants, right? It's not a great remedy, but at least it's something. Okay, water placements in Feng Shui actually is really, really tricky, very tricky. Okay. Okay. So some of you guys have probably seen my video about the kitchen in the Northwest. I actually just did a consult yesterday, also with the kitchen in the Northwest. So the client was a little bit concerned because she and her husband live there. Now, remember, the Northwest is the house of the patriarch. You are not considered a patriarch or a father if you're a male and you don't have children. Okay? Because having a kitchen in the Northwest affects the patriarch. It makes it quite unlucky, quite challenging for them. However, and which is the case for my client yesterday, they're married, but they don't yet have children. So the husband is still not yet a patriarch. So that kitchen in the Northwest actually doesn't affect him. However, I told my client, once you guys are pregnant, you should look at moving out, because once he becomes a father, then the kitchen in the Northwest will start affecting him. The question that Belina had is there an easy cure for having a kitchen in the Northwest without renovation? I wish there was. I know many of you guys hope you can buy like a $50, $100 thing and put it in the Northwest kitchen and it's all going to be good. Honestly, Feng Shui doesn't work that way, especially with huge structural issues like that. My only suggestion is your stove, cook elsewhere. Put a temporary stove outside of the Northwest. Okay, you might still have the physical stove there, but you're not using it. Use a temporary stove elsewhere. That's the easiest fix to a Northwest kitchen. Okay. Oh, Yuli's got a good question with regards to that patriarch thing. Are they a patriarch if they have miscarried children? Actually, they are. Especially because once there was already life, right? Even for whatever few days, a few weeks that they were expecting, even though that pregnancy terminated, they still basically got promoted to fatherhood. Okay. For women as well. So if you are, the moment you have been pregnant, that's actually a really good reminder. I should go circle back with my client from yesterday. The moment your womb has been occupied, that's already made you a mother. Okay. And any woman can attest to this, whether the pregnancy went to completion or not. They had that moment where they felt like the mother, and they were. And, that moment completely puts them in a separate category where the Feng Shui is concerned. Okay. Great questions, you guys. Okay. Oh, Rebecca's got a good one. How do you incorporate the base number year? Okay, wait. How do you incorporate the base number? I'm assuming you mean the permanent number and the year and the monthly flying star? Is that what you mean, Rebecca? Okay, so these are the layers of energy, okay? There's the energy of the period, which changes every 20 years. We're currently in period 8. We're going into period 9. There's the energy of the year, the energy of the month, the energy of the day. So I'm assuming Rebecca is asking about the energy of the permanent energy, or based on the period, and your year and your month. So you have 3 levels of energy, 3 levels of Feng Shui placements to deal with. That is actually the best way to do Feng Shui placements. And I can guarantee you only a minority of people know to do it that way, or even know how to do it properly. So kudos to you, Rebecca, to know this. The guys in my manifesting code, they get my monthly updates as well. So in my annual Feng Shui training, I know I'm pitching this a lot, but that's because the question led me there. In my annual Feng Shui training, again, if you guys have not registered, I'm going to do a quick pitch here. fengshui2020.com to register. I look at the annual and I look at the permanent energy. And then I will recommend you what to put for the year that also complements your permanent energy, if that makes sense. So for instance, if the South is your permanently afflicted, okay, let's not do the South. Let's say the Northwest, okay, for 2020. Let's say the Northwest, you have the most negative money energy, which is reflected by a number 5 in your water star. Okay, these are for you guys who know flying star. If you guys have number 5 permanently, actually, water or mountain star doesn't matter. If you have a number 5 permanently in your Northwest, next year, the number 8 flies there. Okay? Number 8 is supposed to be auspicious. But the element of the number 8 and the element of the actually strengthens the element of the number 5, because they're both earth element. Okay? So what would have been auspicious in the Northwest is actually inauspicious for those who have negative permanent energy in the Northwest. So a lot of the books, the annual books, a lot of the annual articles that you see online, they would say, oh, the number 8 is in the Northwest. You can activate this. Wait a minute. It's not good for everyone. for those homes that have a number 5 in the Northwest, if you activate the Northwest in 2020, you are going to get into trouble. And I've seen that. Okay. So because as a Feng Shui consultant, I see people struggling with all these generalized Feng Shui placements, they miss out on the big picture. They miss out on how it's supposed to be done. That's why I came up with the annual training the way I did, which looks at the annual placements, and then I look at all the homes from period 6, period 7, period 8. So if you've moved into your house since 1984 onwards, right? Or even 1964, sorry. Yeah. Period 6, period 7, period 8. I look at that. I look at your permanent energy, and then I superimpose the annual energy on your permanent energy, and then I'll tell you what to put in all these directions. So those of you who have done my annual training, I would say, okay, this is what's happening in the Northwest right now. It is good energy. You can activate it that way unless your house is this period facing this direction, right? You guys who have been in my annual training, because again, you cannot do generalized stuff. Now, when it comes to monthly, then you follow the same thing. Monthly energy. The energy changes every month, right? So you have your annual placements that is based on your permanent energy, thanks to my annual training. You look at the calendar that is part of your registration in Feng Shui 2020. You look at where every month, when the month changes, you look at, okay, where are the negative directions? Where are the positive directions? Can I actually activate the positive directions? If you don't want to learn how to calculate this yourself, then here's another pitch for manifesting code, because every month, at the beginning of the month, I send out information very similar to the annual information, but this time to do your monthly placement. I do all the thinking for you guys. Okay? That way you don't make a mistake. Okay, so the question is, you moved into the home in 2018, but it was built in 1988. We determine the period by the year you move in. So Rebecca, it sounds like you haven't registered to Feng Shui 2020. I would love to see you in there, because we actually go through that. I will actually do one whole video training to help you determine your period. Because just like that, right? Oh, I did a renovation, but I'm not sure if it changed my period. Or I moved in before my husband. Which period is the house, right? That's the training where I get all those period related questions and I answer that. Again, it's almost case by case sometimes. And then I have another training in Feng Shui 2020 to help you determine your facing. If you're in an apartment, if you're in a multi-unit complex, or even if you have a house, but you have a few different elements that could become the facing and you're not sure, that's the training where I look at your Google Earth map. Some of you even, private message me your address so that I can go and do Google Earth and look at the streets, look at the mountains, look at the other buildings around you. Then I will help you determine your facing. Because if you get your period and your facing wrong, everything else is wrong. Okay? Get that. If you get your period wrong and your facing wrong, everything else is wrong. And in fact, I got a really good comment from one of my certification students. So he came all the way from Hawaii. He flew to Toronto to take my certification course, and he got certified. And now he's in his hometown. He's fixing the mistakes that other Feng Shui consultants did, because they got the period wrong, they got the facing wrong. And he said, based on our lineage, which determines our period and our facing a little bit, actually quite differently from other schools, he was able to give better advice to his clients, and he could see a difference in terms of what the previous consultants gave the clients. Okay. And that's the thing. If you want to be a Feng Shui consultant and you're not properly trained, you're actually making things worse for people. Do you really want that? No. Okay. So your training is actually really, really important. Great questions. Let me go back to Facebook. For those of you who are already in Feng Shui 2020, you can already start posting in the Facebook group, but I'm going to be officially in the Facebook group more next month. Okay, but you guys can start posting in the private Facebook group for Feng Shui 2020, and then I'll try to answer as quickly as I can. Okay. Those of you guys who are not in Feng Shui 2020, if you want me to look at your layout, or if you want me to look at your help you determine your period on your facing, best way for you to do that, if you don't want to pay for a private consultation, is fengshui2020.com. Okay. Questions. Has this been helpful, you guys? I know classical Feng Shui is a little hard to wrap your head around. Lissy's got a good question. What are the best room for flying stars 2, 3, 5, and 7? Okay. For period 8, the stars 2, 3, 5, and 7 are considered negative, right? What do you put there? It can be a storeroom. It can be a guest room. Basically something that is not you. It could even be a dining room, but if it's a dining room that you use occasionally, that's fine. I wouldn't want, I wouldn't want my front door, my kitchen, or my bedrooms to have those flying stars. Okay. Now, great question, you guys. This one has been popping up a little bit more. How to prepare for period 9. And this is my bonus announcement. Yay! So you guys know, right? We just talked about periods and the permanent energy. Period 9 is officially starting in the year 2024. However, we are already seeing the shift from period 8 going into period 9. What happens if you still stay in your house? Or what happens if you're currently looking for a house, right? Do you still do period 8 or do you prepare for period 9? For many, many years now, when I help my clients build their home from scratch, I actually get them prepared for period 9. That way, if you have a home that is built around period 9, then it will be auspicious, okay, for the next 20 years. If it is your forever home, I ask my clients, is this your forever home? Are you going to retire in this house, you think? Or is this something maybe just for a few years? There's been 2 occasions where I actually prepare them for period 1. That means this will be a house that's auspicious for 40 years. Yeah. So what do you do? Well, forget about period 1 right now, okay? You guys just wrap your head around period 9. What do you do with that information? So whoever that registers in Feng Shui 2020, I haven't figured out the date yet, but it's probably going to be January or February, or maybe earlier. I haven't done the date selection because honestly, I just determined this to be a bonus training like a few days ago. For those who register for Feng Shui 2020, you will get an additional training from me about period 9. Okay? What to do with your current layout, and also what are the most auspicious directions in period 9, so that if you are planning to, let's say, build a house or reno a house, or if you're planning to, if you have a long-term plan where your real estate goals are concerned, then at least you have that information about what to look for that is good for period 9. Okay? And we'll also talk about how to change the period. Do you need to change your period? Not everyone needs to change your period, because sometimes the current house might still be better even though you don't update it to period 9. Okay? There's been a couple of situations where I have clients who are currently in period 7 homes. They wanna renovate and change it to period 8. I took a look at both the period 7 and the period 8 chart. Period 7 chart is actually more auspicious still. So it doesn't mean that it's exhausted energy. You just look at, again, it's very case by case. But in the Feng Shui 2019 training, that's a bonus training, but only if you're in Feng Shui 2020. Other than that, you can't purchase it. Okay? So that will be my bonus training for you guys. Okay, I have some questions about that. When is Feng Shui 2020 scheduled for? So if you guys go to, I don't think I can share my screen, but let me share my screen. Let's see. That way I can go over that with you guys. What are you seeing here? Okay. Are you guys seeing my screen? What are you seeing here? You guys are seeing my screen, right? Okay. Say yes in the comments so I know. What are you seeing here? Can you guys see the registration page? You guys are seeing my screen, right? Okay. Say yes in the comments so I know. What are you seeing here? You guys see the registration page? So go to fengshui2020.com. Screen, right? Okay. Say yes in the comments so I know. Again, the first 300 registrants. So go to fengshui2020.com. It will go up to $88 first. Say yes and then see my strategy. Again, the first 300 registrants. So go to fengshui2020.com. It will go up to $88 first. Say yes and then see my strategy. Again, the first 300 registrants. So go to fengshui2020.com. It will go up to $88 first. Say yes and then see my strategy. Again, the first 300 registrants. So go to fengshui2020.com. It will go up to $88 first. Say yes and then see my strategy. Again, the first 300 registrants. So go to fengshui2020.com. It will go up to $88 first. Say yes and then see my strategy. Again, the first 300 registrants. So go to fengshui2020.com. It will go up to $88 first. Say yes and then see my strategy. Again, the first 300 registrants. So go to fengshui2020.com. It will go up to $88 first. Say yes and then see my strategy. Again, the first 300 registrants. So go to fengshui2020.com. It will go up to $88 first. Say yes and then see my strategy. Again, the first 300 registrants. So go to fengshui2020.com. It will go up to $88 first. Say yes and then see my strategy. Again, the first 300 registrants. So go to fengshui2020.com. It will go up to $88 first. Say yes and then see my strategy. Again, the first 300 registrants. So go to fengshui2020.com. It will go up to $88 first. Say yes and then see my strategy. Again, the first 300 registrants. So go to fengshui2020.com. This is $88 first. Say yes and then see my strategy. Again, the first 300 registrants. So go to fengshui2020.com. This is $88 first. Say yes and then see my strategy. Again, the first 300 registrants. So go to fengshui2020.com. This is $88 first. Say yes and then see my strategy. Again, the first 300 registrants. So go to fengshui2020.com. This is $88 first. Too much echo? You guys can't hear me? Was there an echo? Okay, I didn't hear. Oh, well, I didn't know that. Oh dear. Okay, well, sorry about that, but you guys can go on the website and take a look at it yourself. There is an echo with me sharing my desktop, so I'm not sure what's going on. It was from the screen sharing, unfortunately. Do you guys want me to go over that again? I won't screen share. You can look at the page yourself, but you listen to me. Let me know if you want me to do that. The whole time. All right. Do you want me to redo that? Or I could do a video and I can send it. I can post it up on Facebook and up on YouTube. But basically everything is there on the page. If you still have questions about it, you can message me. There's right at the top right of the page, there is a button where you can click and you can directly Facebook message me. And yeah. Well, sorry about that. I hope I didn't hurt anyone's ears there. All right, note to self, I cannot share screen anymore, which means the software does not work for me because sometimes I do like to share screens. So anyway, that is where I wanted to, I guess no other questions. We are about 50 minutes in, and I do have an appointment I have a meeting in 10 minutes, so I do need to get going. But thank you so much for your time and your amazing questions and the interaction. I am loving it. And again, well, I think I'm seeing some registrations come in as I was going through that page. If you guys have any questions, post it under the video, and I'll just do like a screen capture, I guess, of what's included in there. But honestly, the information is on the page right now. So it's fengshui2020.com. We should still have, at this point, maybe about 70 spots left, 70 out of 300 spots for early bird pricing. So if you want to pay $68 for this information, you do it now. It's going to go up to $88, and after that, it's going to go up to $108. Those of you who have been following me for a while, I do love on people who are fast action takers. So that is great. Thank you so much for your time, you guys. I'll give you the rest of your day back, and I hope to see you guys in the Feng Shui 2020 page. Take care.